Nice. Hi everybody. This is Mark again with another grammar video. This time we're doing some tenses, right? Tenses, right? Like present tense, past tense. Right here we're going to use the continuous tense. These are very important in English because they help tell us about the time, right? They help us give us information about time when we're speaking the language. So to start, we're going to start with our basic one, right? The present simple. Right? And you're like, oh, present simple, present, we just use anytime it's present, right? Well, there's actually a specific reason we use the present simple, okay? And we'll walk through that today. The first way, which I think is one of the most common ways, is to use it for habits. Habits, what's a habit? Well, a habit is something that we do very often, do frequently. Maybe it's something we do every day. Right? Every day. Not one time, many, many times, right? Every day, right? I always wake up at 7 a.m., right? I always wake up at 7 a.m. That's a habit for me. Something that continues over time, right? I always wake up at 7 a.m. Or I could do this one. I could say every day. I wake up at 7 a.m. every day. Something we do over time again. Something that's a habit. And for these words, we often will use these guys, right? As you'll learn in class, these ones are our adverbs of frequency to say how often we do something. You can use words like always, usually, sometimes, hardly ever, never, to show how often this habit happens, right? Or like we had here, the everyday, we can also use the once-a, twice-a to show how often something happens. So, right, there's the very common way to use that present simple. Second one is if something is permanent or something that's true for a very long time, right? Right? If I say, I live in Singapore, that's true, right? True. I've lived here a long time. I live here. Something true about me. Or permanent, right? Permanent, something that will not change. We can also use that present simple, okay? That present simple. One specific note here is for states. States, your book also might call them non-action verbs. Okay, so these non-action verbs or states don't use the ing, the continuous, which we'll talk about soon. So we have to keep them in this present simple tense, right? So for example, if I have this word, if I have, I have a cat. I have an iPhone. I have an English textbook, right? Have, like own, it's something that we consider a state. Right? Not something we can easily see you doing, right? If you say, I go, I swim, I play, I eat, those are actions. These, we have they're a little special, we call them states. And for these, we don't use the ing. These first ones, right? Ownership, be, have, own. We also have words like think, know, remember. Think, know, remember, it's happening in my head. It's not an action like riding a bike, doing yoga, right? It's a thought in my head. These ones also, no ing. Same for, sometimes we call these ones the emotion, right? I like, I love, I hate. These ones as well, we don't use the ing, right? For our states. Last, things like see, hear, taste. That's another very common group. Those in English we call the senses, right? The senses also don't usually use the ing. Okay, so that's our present simple. If we move on over here, now we have our present continuous. Present continuous, we make present continuous with our be verb. Okay, just for you guys. Be verbs like am, like is, like are. We use those verbs to make this grammar. We do be plus an ing. Okay? And the reason we use the continuous is for something that's happening, right, at the moment of speaking, or easy way to say, happening right now. I'm teaching English now. Right now, you're watching a YouTube video now, right? You are listening to me now, right? So that's our be-ing for the continuous. This is the easiest way to understand it, right? Something happening at the moment, while you're watching, while I'm listening, right? But we can also use it for something happening around now. So what is around now? I can say I'm reading, right? I'm reading a really good book. Am I reading a book now? Right? Of course not. I'm teaching now. But I can also say I'm reading a really good book because this is happening around now. Maybe I've been reading it yesterday, today, tomorrow. Around now, I'm reading a really good book. That's another way we can use this grammar. We can also say things like that. At the moment. This is a very common phrase we can use to mean now or around now. I'm reading a really good book at the moment. Really? Oh, what book are you reading? Right? Like that. And then our last reason to use the present continuous, our be-ing, is for something that is changing over a period of time. So here I have speaking English is getting easier for me. We hope that that's true, that speaking English is getting easier for you, right? We're using a compare word, right, to compare before, right? You 2 months ago and maybe you now. We're showing that something is changing, right? English is getting easier for me to understand. Or you could say, I'm getting fatter, right? People are very scared about gaining weight, right? I'm getting fatter. I'm getting older, right? Those ones, the ing. Okay, so if you look at our whole board, that's all of our continuous and simple for now. I hope this video helped you. Feel free to look at this if you get confused about these two tenses in the future. But for now, that's it for the video. So I will see you all next time. So have a great day.